guy I want to talk about is Gunnar. Guy with a big arm. Good fastball, good breaking ball, changeup comes into play.
Here's the pitch. A swing and miss will do it.
How about his first major league game? 6 innings, gave up 1 run.
Waved at it, missed down. He goes, oh, what a pitch from Hoglund.
This is a clinic today.
The 3-2 at strike 3.
Oh, man. Gunnar Hoglund.
He showed up with his game face on, took it to the mound, and didn't miss a beat.
Get to know Gunnar Hoglund, right-hander for the Athletics. He's 6'4", 220. Was drafted in the first round not once, but twice. He was sparkling on Friday against the Marlins. Didn't walk anyone. That's a hard thing to find a guy make his big league debut, go that deep into a game, 6 innings, with command of all of his pitches. And Gunnar Hoglund joins us now on the National Pregame Show. Gunnar, congratulations. To be that comfortable to not walk anyone. What was the game plan that led you to have such incredible command of all of your pitches in your big league debut?
Yeah, I think the big thing was, just treating it like it was any other game, going out there and attacking the strike zone, filling up the zone, and, not trying to be myself out there and, just going after the hitters.
Gunnar, it's Dan. What was the night's sleep the night before the game? What was that like?
Not much sleep, I'll tell you that. It was tough falling asleep. Thankfully, I ended up getting like 6 hours of sleep, but yeah, once I woke up, I was juiced up, ready to go. It was tough waiting on that game.
When you started your warm-ups before the game, did you feel like you were in a good place mentally and physically, under control?
Yeah, I felt really good going into the start. Body was feeling good, arm was feeling good. Honestly, I think the big thing was once I threw that first pitch in the game, I think then it was like just the feeling of it's same old baseball, same old game. So that kind of calmed me down the most.
What a journey to get to that game. I want to go all the way back to high school. So fill in a couple blanks here. You went to a high school that didn't have a baseball team, so you had to travel to a different high school to play high school baseball. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. I went to a school with about 20 kids in my graduating class, no sports, so then, yeah, I did have to go to a different high school to play sports. So
were you being recruited by high schools? Like, they all wanted Gunnar Hoglund to pitch for them. So what was that like? When did you start getting recruited by other high schools?
There was a little process there. Which is pretty funny, but yeah, I ended up just choosing the school that I was the closest to me, and ended up choosing there.
All right, and then you go to you choose to not sign with the Pirates. You go to Ole Miss. You break out sophomore year, have a great season, and then we've got COVID wipes it away, and then Tommy John. You went an extensive period of time without pitching. How difficult was that for your growth?
Yeah, I mean, it was super tough. They say the Tommy John timetable is about 12 to 15 months. But for me, it was kind of like 2 years almost to really feel back to what I felt before surgery. And yeah, it was a tough process, but I'm kind of just glad I found my footing and have been on a good path now for the last 2 years.
Hey, it's Dan again. Gunnar, where did it come from?
Yeah, there's a cool story behind that. My dad, actually, when he was a little kid, he was drowning in a pool, and a guy came up and saved him, and his name was Gunnar, and he named him after me. So.
Wow, what a crazy story. That's incredible. So now here you are in the big leagues. What was the family reaction like to your debut?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. I'm honestly just so glad it worked out that it was in Miami, so it was only like a short 4-hour drive for them. Had a lot of family and friends be able to go to the game, so that made it really special. Did you keep the game ball? Do you have it? And if so, where are you going to put it? Yeah, I have the game ball with me right now. I'm probably going to give it to my dad once he comes out again here shortly, and yeah, I'll probably be with him. You know, following your career, you were terrific at Ole Miss. You were then drafted by the Blue Jays. You were in the Matt Chapman deal. That's how you ended up with the Athletics. Velocity is the thing that everyone's obsessed with. You did have an uptick from last year in velocity to this year. Average fastball velocity over 93. But what Dan and I have loved watching you in your debut, you look like an established pitcher at a young age. Are you still fixated on velo, or are you putting that past you and just trying to move the baseball and get people out? Yeah, I think, it's always nice to add, a couple ticks of velo here and there, and obviously I'm still working towards doing that. But, I think the main thing is, getting outs. And however you can do that, there's a lot of ways to do that other than velocity. You got to disrupt the hitter's timing. And, I rely on movement and control. Gunnar, it's Dan. My last question from me. There's so much technology. There's so much data. How much of that do you use, and then how much do you use with your gut instinct and just pitchability? Yeah, I think the big thing and where I get my most confident, all my confidence is in my preparation. You know, being able to go out there and just watching video of the hitters, looking at their strengths and weaknesses, and being able to compare that to my strengths and weaknesses and how we're going to attack those hitters. But, you know, once they get out there, then it just comes down to, you know, just pitching and basically just gut feeling from there.
You know, there's a chance if the Athletics win tonight that you could be pitching the A's into first place tomorrow night against the Mariners. Any extra pressure with that or no?
I mean, it's awesome. It's a blessing. You know, I think it's a great opportunity. I'm excited for it. You know, what better way to enter the big leagues than, you know, to do that and hopefully put them in first place. Well,
I've been hearing your name for a couple drafts, hosting the MLB draft here on MLB Network. It's been fun to finally get a chance to talk to you. Gunnar Hoglund, terrific performance against the Marlins, and best of luck tomorrow night, okay?
Thank you so much, guys.
Sometimes I feel like I was born in the wrong era. I like jazz music. I like movies with actual plots, not just superheroes. And I feel that social media may be accelerating the decline of Western civilization. Post that on your TikTok. And when it comes to baseball, I miss the free swingers. There's been such a focus on three true outcome players and the patience that a walk is as good as a hit. And there's nothing to be ashamed of if you're racking up all the strikeouts as long as you're putting enough balls in the seats. But sometimes all those Ks give me a whole lot of Zs and puts me to bed. That's why Jacob Wilson is such a refreshing antidote to that which can sometimes plague the game. He's like a shot of espresso every time he steps in the batter's box. Pure bat-to-ball skills, very few whiffs, and very few walks. You throw it, he'll hit it. Look at these numbers when it comes to lowest whiff percentage, according to StatCast. Take a look at that company. Arise is a three-time batting champion. In fact, the first player in baseball history to win batting titles with 3 different teams in 3 consecutive seasons. Quan appears to be one of the best contact hitters of his generation, and then there's Wilson. Meantime, the league-wide whiff rate is 25.1%. So here's what makes Wilson different. His swing percentage is 54.5%. Arise 51, Quan 41.6. So on any given pitch, there's a 55% chance Wilson will swing. And the odds of him putting his bat on the ball is 90.3%. After last night's game, Wilson has now reached base 14 times since his last strikeout. His 4.3 strikeout percentage is higher than only Arise and is 5 times better than the league average K rate of 21.9. I mentioned the 3 true outcomes earlier: walk, strikeout, or home run. Roughly 34% of plate appearances in baseball this season end one of those 3 ways. 20 years ago, that number was 27%. Here's the list of players with the lowest 3 true outcomes this season. It's Arise, Wilson, the only 2 batters under 10%, and then everyone else. So when you're watching Jacob Wilson, we're watching the next Luis Arise. In fact, GM David Forst told us on MLB Now last week that is the comp they use internally when it comes to Wilson. Wilson played college baseball for the Grand Canyon Antelopes. Tim Salmon, the most famous alumni, he was selected 6th overall in the 2023 draft, making his debut last year with the A's. And you know he's got the bloodlines. Jacob attended Thousand Oaks High School, where he's played for his father, Jack Wilson, a former Major League shortstop. Jacob credits his dad for his approach, telling Baseball America 2 years ago, "My dad also hated striking out. That's something I really gained from him. My dad really built that into me as a baseball player." The elder Wilson struck out just 11.6% of the time. And if you have a youngster out there who can improve his bat-to-ball skills, Jacob admits playing another sport helped immeasurably as well. The other sport? Ping pong. Get that paddle out, boys and girls. The A's are a true fun team to watch right now. They've locked up Brent Rooker and Lawrence Butler in long-term deals. Tyler Soderstrom was a revelation, bashing 9 home runs in his first 19 games. They're a major league best 13-7 on the road this season. And their bullpen, led by the sensational Mason Miller, has been a true bellwether of their success. In 20 wins, they've boasted a scintillating .63 ERA, the lowest in baseball. In the 16 losses, a bloated 8.66 ERA. The A's have young, controllable assets and on the rise with their very own Luis Arise in Jacob Wilson.